you guys have had a big year this year, come from different areas, different places, all arrived in about the same to the same activity, but you guys have been shooting a lot of different competitions. Is that the thing? So we'll go ahead and Brad, tell me how your season's going this year.
It was a whirlwind because it was brand new to me. You know,
Okay.
getting with these guys as far as my archery career, that's where it started. Was just them letting me into their little group, and you know, the basically telling me, hey, we're shooting here, come on. And I said, okay. And it was neat because it opened up a lot of things, like I said earlier, that weren't open to me previously, and then it got me into the target world, and that was brand new to me. And going into it, it was very okay. I'll shoot, and I shot my hunting setup for a few. Then it was, I might get into this even more, and I bought a target bow.
Sucked you right in.
Yeah, exactly. And so what ended up happening for me, I shot roughly, I don't know, maybe 15 tournaments. Two big ones, which were the ASA, which we've already decided next year it's, you know, goal oriented for the ASA shoots, the big ones.
Okay.
And so for me, that was it. It was getting as many shoots as I could in locally, and then two of the ASA events, one in Georgia, one in Kentucky. So for me, it was a pretty short, brand new season, but it was really good, and you know, definitely building on, you know, next year and going from there. So it was good.
Cool.
My story kind of bounces off of Brad's. So I came into this, like I said, I met up with Blake and got into it right at the end of indoor season, and they were like, hey, we're going to go out and shoot some 3D courses. Like to see you there. You can come out and shoot with us. So I kind of jumped onto that boat, went out, shot a couple with them. Brad ended up showing up to a few. These guys shot everywhere all the time. It was a lot to keep up with, but I love having a bow in my hand, so I stuck with them. And then we kind of just ran with the fact that these two already had a game plan, and whatever we could make it to, we did. At the time, whenever all this was getting started, I was working every day other than days that we were going on shoots, because that was the only days I could afford to take off work. But looking forward to next year, like you said, it's going to be ASA oriented, going to the big national shoots. I only made it to one last year. A ton of local shoots and stuff, but I only made it to one big ASA, and I'm really looking to bump those numbers up next year.
So rookie numbers.
Yeah, rookie numbers. I got to bump those up.
Well, you know, Chris and I kind of, I guess we started this big hairy thing last year because we used to shoot with a group of guys that are friends of his dad's, and you know, that's pretty much how we got to know each other. And
Shot them
so
for about 2 years like that.
yeah, and we shot a ton of tournaments. Well, what we thought at the time was a ton of tournaments.
Yeah,
And like we thought we shot a lot together, and last year he was just like, man, you know, I really would love to like make a go at shooting some of these big shoots, and you know, but we recognized early on that we're not on that level. You know, like we just we weren't there, so we were kind of like, man, how do we get there? Well, the only way you get better at something is you subject yourself to, you know, trial by fire and practice and put yourself in the pressure situation. So we decided that we were going to make a commitment to, you know, go to as many tournaments within driving distance as possible this year that we could physically stand up and shoot, as well as just and afford. You know, that did come into a factor, but honestly, it was more of a, well, we can't shoot that one because we're already shooting two that weekend. You know, like we can't. That's
Maybe
how,
two places at once.
that's literally kind of became the the determining factor. So you know, we shot. I guess it was in March that we made our registration for everything, but we pretty much had everything planned before that to shoot two major ASAs. We went to Augusta and London, yeah, and then we also went to the OPA,
Seven Springs.
yeah. So that's the Organization of Professional Archers. They are gracious enough to let amateurs come out and shoot with them, and so we got to go do that. And Yeah, then there was literally a local tournament within 3 hours of the house every weekend. And so we just put in the time, made the practice happen, made it work, and I can tell by the development that we went through that it worked. Our dedication, our decision to, not our dedication, but our decision to basically make ourselves miserable for a year, it definitely showed growth. It showed something that, it was worth it. What else you got to add to that? Because I totally talked all, sorry.
Yeah, it's mentally draining to do all these tournaments. I mean, let's be honest. The amount of stress that goes along with this, even for Brad, coming into only being in for
I didn't take it
4
that
months.
serious.
But it's just a lot.
It
But
is.
honestly, like looking back at it now, I wouldn't have done anything different. There's a lot of growth that happens when you're willing to put in the time and the commitment into it. And luckily we were able to do it. So.
We talked a little bit about what Center 5 is. We talked about what brought each of us here. We talked about kind of what our focus and our purpose is. What do you see, Dustin, going forward for this hunting season and then in 2020? What you kind of expect for your kind of content contributions for Center 5? What do you see going forward?
Oh man, that's a rabbit hole of its own. But this hunting season, I think, is going to be phenomenal because I'm actually going to break off and try something that I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to try to self-film hunts, and I've always been so afraid of what do I do. I know to pack a camera up in the tree with me, drill it on somehow, and get everything on a little card. But that's about as far as it goes. Now that we actually have came together as a group and we're talking content and stuff, I'm really looking forward to being able to take what I'm doing in the woods, the things that work for me, the things that I think are bogus, great, somewhere in the middle, and just kind of push them out there to people. That way people can learn from what I'm doing wrong. And that's pretty much it. But going into 2020, the target season, it is going to be awesome. So our content there, I know we've already spoken with some of the guys over at ASA. We've got a little bit of clearance there to take some footage. It's going to be great, and I expect a lot more growth from each and every one of us. And I'm just waiting for one of you guys to catch me. Kind of wrapping up my end of what I'm bringing to the table and what I'm expecting. Chris, what are you bringing to the table?
So, me being with Second to None, my dad being the owner of the company, I'm trying to get into the technical side of it. Trying new arrows, trying new sights, just being able to give the viewers my personal opinion on certain pieces of equipment.
So a lot of product reviews.
Yeah, product reviews, technical
Nice.
reviews. That's what I want to bring to the
Sweet.
table. That is
Yeah.
my specialty. Coming back from the automotive field, I'm hands-on. That's what I like to do. Next year, my goals are really just to keep climbing on my scores. If I can be within the top 10%, I would be really happy next year. And I don't know if this has been said, but I know we're trying to make every ASA event next year. That's my goal is to make every one of them, which is what, six events in total. I think it's all over the U.S. Harris, Texas, Kentucky, Georgia, a little bit everywhere.
Yes.
Alabama, yeah.
Couple in Alabama.
Okay.
So that's what I'm trying to bring to the table. Just given that technical experience that I've had. I've been doing open class, I think, the longest out of all of us. right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So-
You drug me along kicking and screaming.
I've tried a lot of different stuff that either I didn't like or just wasn't my cup of tea or have some type of reason for my decision. So I like to bring it to the table and get that to the viewers.
Sometimes it's just new and shiny.
Sometimes I like the shiny stuff, so it catches my eye.
And then sometimes you can buy his shiny stuff after
Yes,
he
you
doesn't
can.
like it
That's
for
right.
cheap.
That's right.
I do
Keep
sell
him
stuff.
in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He sells. You sell a lot more of your stuff. I'm a pack rat.
Yeah, I like to.
I keep upgrading, but
like
his
to
stuff
check.
just goes in the drawer, and I never get rid of it.
A good quarter of my bow was built off of his hand-me-downs. So
That's good.
Right. What's your expectations for next year, and what do you plan on bringing to the table?
With once again, I keep saying this. I'm the old guy, but I'm brand new at what we've kind of come together with, which is target archery. As far as the hunting season, I tend to travel quite a bit, and I'll be going back to Oklahoma hunting, back to Arkansas, hoping to get back to Kansas, and that's kind of for me. I want to show that that there's a lot of other ways to go about what you love doing, and for me, I have family back there, so I'm going to take advantage of that, and hopefully, take the viewers along and get some content that's not terrible, so our man Brett here can turn it into something you can watch, and and from that, just kind of use. I actually, believe it or not, have an artistic background, and I really like to see things on the artistic side, and so I'll be hopefully bringing some photos with some cool content, a little bit different views than most people are used to seeing in the outdoor world, and. With that, going into next year's ASA, I plan on actually shooting all of them. The travel is going to be part of that because I can get back to Texas pretty easily with family, and so that's the goal: is to shoot all of them as well as possible, and at the same time, just try to tag along and figure it all out together when we can.
I'll tell you right now, Brad's photo game, it's on point.
That's right.
It's
No
on
pressure.
point.
Yeah, don't mess up.
Yeah.
He can take some good pictures.
Yeah, iPhones are great at picture taking.
Until you look at mine.
We're gonna work with him. Yeah, that's about it. Just hopefully bringing something to the table. That's kind of my ultimate goal. So, Blake, definitely, if we haven't already talked about this, Blake's really brought this all together, and that's something that it's kind of nice. And he sends a lot of texts and emails, and that's good though, because taking this group, taking Center 5 to where we are right now, which is doing this.
Right.
I mean, we've all got a lot of things going on. We've talked about earlier, and Blake's kind of grabbed the bull by the horns, as we say in Oklahoma, and here's where we are. So I'll let him kind of go into more of what he's going to be bringing and where we're going to be going.
Out of running a camera, sending texts and emails, phone calls, and shooting my bow, I like shooting my bow the best. So the hard part for me is going to be, especially in the hunting world, is going to be remembering to turn the camera on whenever I'm out hunting. But for target archery, things like that, it's going to be an experience. It's going to be great to see how things develop. I'm just excited just to be here right now.
Yeah.
Like just getting this started. I'm excited.
It's a
I'm
huge
excited. I'm excited to see, 5 like-minded guys. Sorry, I just kind of cut you out of that. Sorry.
Okay.
But like-minded guys to getting together to go after a goal, and we're, I'm excited about that. But what you're talking about with the ASA, I've gotten permission to film, run a camera on the range, which is only going to help just showcase what to expect.
It's going to be the amateur side.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Not the
And
pro
so
side,
as
it's the
far as
amateur
there's already very great great coverage of the pro world and what to expect on the pros side of things, but the amateur side is somewhat lacking of the showcase there, and so what we're hoping to is just to really hone in and talk about what the amateurs do and what they go through and what to expect there.
Well, we just touched base a few minutes ago. Walking into it, we have no idea what we're walking into.
Yep.
In Augusta, we had no idea. I mean, where do we go to even figure out what range we're on?
Yep.
So
That's what it really boils down to. Is right now the content that's out there, you go from nothing to
Pro shoot
absolute pro shoot-offs.
Pro shoot-offs. Yeah.
There's
Wow.
The best
nothing.
the best of the best.
I could see that would be massively intimidating.
Yeah.
Be like, I got a bow,
Absolutely.
I can hit a target, I can go in the backyard out here and shoot, and I
and
shoot
it's
15
cool.
minutes every day. But when I go out there and see that pro shooting, is that the only?
Well, yeah, and like the expectations of what we didn't know what we needed to shoot like when we went to Augusta. I mean, we were completely lost. Like, so our expectations of what it was going to take to kind of put us in a place, for us to place, in that shoot, we were just like, you know, the only reference we have to go off of that is either watch the pro shoot downs and expect that you should be shooting similar to that,
20 up,
you know, or 40 up,
40 up,
you
yeah.
know, and then or you can look at the ASA's website and go, if you know kind of how to navigate it and what you're looking for and understanding all the classes and all of that, you can kind of pull that information out.
Okay.
But if you're not that deep into it yet, you don't know where to go. And what I think we learned there was that we didn't have to shoot as well as what we were scared we were going to have to shoot in order to be considerably in the put it this way, in the top 50% of the class.
And the thing is, there's a lot more amateurs out there shooting those ASA tournaments than people believe.
Oh,
If
absolutely.
you go online, you look up, say Augusta, Georgia ASA competition,
Mhm.
you don't see anything really that much about amateurs at all, K40, 45, or even 50, until you get into the professional level, of known, unknown, whatever it may be. So being able to put this content out there, what we're experiencing even in the K40, K45, it's going to help a ton of people just understand.
That's
There are-
known 40 and
That was
known 45.
Yeah,
these are-
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know
so
the
it's-
yardage.
Yep,
Yeah.
we'll go through the
Yeah.
all the
Yeah, that's-
breakdowns
You
of
read my mind.
classes and
It's
stuff like
like,
that.
what is
yeah.
going on? What is
Yeah.
cake?
So yeah, there's
And being the newest guy,
there's
those are some things that these guys taught me. Talking about K40, K45, I was a little intimidated. Oh, yeah.
There's so many-
kilograms or 40 and 40. No, it was known 45 yard, 40 yards.
Well,
So anyway.
Okay.
There's tons of classes.
Correct.
yeah,
And
there's
that's something
there's
you can look at in
probably
the future.
I'd have to look it up exactly, but I'd say there are 10 to 12
Yeah.
amateur classes that are not youth.
Yeah.
There's dozens of youth classes. I think.
Senior,
I mean, as far as, yeah.
everyone
So there's-
is involved.
Everybody's got an option to
How
shoot.
many do they have? 2,000 shooters?
Well,
at-
that's what I was going to say.
at
Is that
Augusta?
there's the pro classes make up for about 150 shooters.
Yeah.
Out of the entire, and there was over 2,300 shooters at that shoot.
just-
But there's only 150 of them actually
Wow.
are
Just
people
in-
that
2,300
are
people
quote
there.
unquote professional level.
And even the known 40, we had over 200 in our
Right
class.
right at
Yeah, it was
Just
right
in our
at, like,
class?
yeah, just in our class, and then there's
So-
then Known 45 was just as big. Known 50 was quite a bit smaller and semi-pro.
Yeah.
And then you got the women's side of it. Then you got the unknown hunter classes. It's just there's a lot. There's something for everybody to shoot, which is
And-
cool.
right.
But there is just a ton of people that shoot this, and so yeah.
no
there's-
matter what level archer you are, even if if you guys know how to shoot the 3D game, which that'll be in the future, but if you're shooting even, you're still gonna be competitive at some point.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? No matter
You
where
beat
you
me.
start, no matter where you start at, you're competitive. With other people in your class. You
Okay.
don't have to be the top 5% in order to be competitive. You can shoot whatever score you're used to shooting and just grow from there.
And at the end of the day with that, as long as you're out there having a good time, there are hundreds of great people, and the networking that you can do, just meeting new guys that are like-minded and reaching out to them. You might find new land hunt, new friends. I mean, possibilities are endless with the guys that you're going to meet at these events and stuff.
I mean, just look at us.
Exactly.
This all became a thing
Yeah.
because of 3D archery.
we all have the same like general goal, and I think that where we all kind of jump off into our great unknown is really where your level of expertise is, Brett. And so we're going to hope to teach you a little bit about what we do, and we're going to try to throw ourselves at the mercy of you to try to learn a little bit off of you. So I guess if you want to tell us a little bit about where you see your role and where what you think your content contribution is going to be as well, I'd love to hear.
Okay. Thanks guys for coming and sharing your guys' stories and your expectations and goals and hopes and dreams. For me, being able to, I'm kind of humbled by all the aspirations that you guys have this coming year, as well as the rest of this year. You got the hunting season coming up, and want to try to film your hunts and get out there and bring that content back. Like I said, I'm humbled in that. Also, the fact that I'm going to be able to help support you guys in the editing, hopefully the editing and the creative collaboration and sharing of this stuff. So between the shack here being the hub probably for some of that editing, and then the redistribution of it. I'm going to try to bring that to the table, editing your videos if I can. Personally, I have a hunt coming up this year. I'm going out to Colorado, and it's not archery, but it is an adventure and a hunt to go on. Coming up for just this year. Into next year is going to be kind of following these guys around. Hopefully, I'm able to tag along and be able to get the perspective over their shoulder and kind of behind the scenes. If you guys are going to the shoots, see if I'm able to tag along for anything that I can make it to. I didn't realize there's going to be 6 of these things to try to support these guys. But no, I definitely want to be able to support as much as I can.
Glad to have you aboard.
And we look forward to working with you,
Absolutely.
man. You're bringing a huge piece of the pie to the table that none of us have any experience in. I mean, I was just talking to these guys earlier about shaking my camera, trying to get the video footage back out, and that's kind of a rabbit hole that we could run down. But we're just happy to have you with us, man.
Okay. Thanks for including me in here. I guess that would be some of the content between review content and videos of stuff, behind the scenes and information of ASA tournaments and that kind of stuff, breaking down what kind of gear we use and how we go into that, and how to be able to set up videos and that kind of stuff, and what to do. So I think this Center 5 thing sounds like it's got a pretty bright future, and I just look forward to being a part of it.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
out here, man.
Thanks for giving us a place.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Well, thank you. Thanks for watching.
This concludes part 2 of our interview. If you missed it, go back and check out part 1. If you're interested in supporting the channel, go ahead and subscribe and like and share this video. We'd love to hear what kind of archery you're into. So head down to the comment section and let us know. Until next time, stay focused and keep 'em center 5.